Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to explain how teachers they can use our speaking based conversation quest system. Different from the student account, unfortunately teachers cannot create their own account um, through the self-registration process. So if you are a teacher, you want to have a teacher account, please email me um, so I can create a teacher account for you. So you can email me at maigac@aspasau.ca or maiga.chang@gmail.com. So if you have a teacher account, you can go to the front page of Speaking Best Conversation Quest system by using conversation.megaword.gameserver.ca. You can then click on teacher and then sign into the system. So in this video, I'm going to use one of the uh, teacher's account for doing the demonstration purpose. As soon as you sign in, you will see a list of all the NPC that you have created earlier. So like in this case, we have Aka for different kind of conversation, and also we have a Jorge and Lucy, and so on. So all the NPCs are created by this teacher account. Uh, Before we are doing anything, you have students. So if you have a class and you have students, you can ask them to self-register their account and then select you as a teacher. In any case, if students they already have an account and you can just ask their name and then click on select students to add them into your list. So in this case, you can see that here are all the learners and here are um, the learners who have a teacher like you. So they can see all the NPCs you created and they can practice on their own. In any case, if they are not your student, that is also okay. They can still see your NPC if the NPC was created as a shareable ones, so they can be open to public, so everybody can see the NPC and they can talk to the NPC. Anyway, the second thing is you can see who has already been interacted with the NPC, which means they have already been practice with the NPC for the topic. Even they are not your students, as long as the NPC is shareable, they can see the NPC and they can talk to the NPC. So um, that is no problem with that. And in any case, if you want to, in particularly, you want to add one of the learner to a, a specific NPC, you can click on learner management. Once you click on learner management, you can see who are the learners who can see the NPC if they are your students, and you can add more students into the learner part so they can talk to the NPC. Secondly, you can take a look at their performance. So if you click on learner performance, you will see that like this NPC, what his conversation is what did you do during the last holiday. You can see we have a demo 01, Ken, Maiga, and all others. They are the students of this NPC. Some of them probably haven't talked to the NPC yet because we added them into this group just now. But some of them they probably have already practiced a lot. You can also see whether or not they choose to opt in or opt out to receive in-game cards as educational reward. So you can see demo 01, he or she choose to not receiving, and Ken also choose to not receiving, but Micah says he wants to receive the in-game card as educational reward. The message is for this moment. So basically, as you probably remember in other demo video, we show you that the demo 01 actually was opt-in to receive an in-game card as an educational reward, and he or she got 0 points at the very first time, and then he or she got 76.66, so he was awarded. But later on, he decided to not receiving the in-game card as educational reward. So that is why at this moment, when you check the learner performance, you will see he or she actually choose to not receiving in-game card as educational reward, but had already been awarded earlier. Let's go back. So for all the rewards, you can set up the criteria. So for example, we can click on award criteria for our car. What did you do during the last holiday? So if we click on the award criteria, you can see that there are several criteria like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can decide to delete any of them directly. So let's do this. So we can delete the criteria 5, and then we only have criteria 1, 2, 3, 4. In that case, you can change the criteria. For example, right now we give students a common avatar card when their performance reach to 50 marks. So if we want to change it to 51, we can change it, and you can see the save button is enabled. So you can click on save. So everything will be saved. Speaking Best, the conversation quest actually has in-game card as educational reward built in, which means students who receive the cards, they can redeem the cards, and they can receive the cards as a reward and playing the trading card game. That is also our research project, one of our research projects outcome. So when you add a new criteria to the end of following list, I need to remind you that by default, the performance will be 100%, which means we just don't want the people to forget to change the criteria, and the people students they can get a lot of rewards immediately. So when you add a new criteria like this, you will see that the criteria 5 here actually is 100%. So no matter what kind of cards you give to students, actually they will not get unless they got 100% marks. Uh, so so in the trading card games, there are three kind of cards: avatar card, magic card, and trap card. So avatar card is essential, and the magic card can help people to make their avatar cards better, to boost the avatar, making the avatar have more attacking power or defending power and so on. So magic card is very useful. Trap card can only be used when people they are attacking you. So that is not so powerful, but very important for the game. So personally, I would suggest you to use avatar card as um, uh, essential rewards, and use magic card as the most uh, important or highest performance reward. For the trap card, uh, you can put them in between the two different cards. Remember, beside the card type, we also have the rarity. So a card can be common, uncommon, rare, or super rare. So which means even avatar card is very essential. If you want to give a student rare avatar cards, you probably want the student to get a higher enough performance. So rare avatar card may be even even more important than like a common trap card, something like that. So in this case, we use 95 marks as the point, and probably because we have already given people common avatar card, uncommon avatar card, common trap card, rare avatar card. So probably in here we give people magic card, like a common magic card, because that is very important for people, and that's probably is more valuable than the real avatar cards. So we can save it. So this is a word criteria. Now we are going back to see the NPC list and conversation list. So we go back to NPC list and conversation list now. In this video, I'm not going to talk about how to create an NPC or how to create a conversation, which is very important, and I will talk about that later in another video. In this video, I would like to show you when we had sign in, as you can see, the difference is we are going to see this new icon. That means shareable. You have a lot of conversation. You will have a lot of NPC. Some of them you can choose to not shareable, which means people they cannot see it. For example, in NPC list, if you choose to make an NPC, it's not shareable, which means only your student can see that NPC. If they don't sign in, they cannot see the NPC. If they don't choose you as a teacher, they cannot see the NPC. For other teacher, if you choose to not share an NPC, then they cannot see the NPC and they cannot clone the NPC. That is the idea. So very similarly, for the conversation, if you choose to share a conversation, which means other teacher they can they can have a copy of that conversation tree, and then they can do more edits on that. Um, but if you choose to not share the conversation, then people they will not be able to see the conversation tree you have developed. So sometimes you probably want to collaborate with others. Sometimes you want to make your conversation be useful for everyone. So in that case, you can choose to share your conversation. So if a conversation not belonging to you, then you cannot delete that. You cannot edit that. You can only see that if the conversation is shareable. That is very similar if an NPC is not created by you but shareable, then you can see the NPC, but you cannot do anything with that. But you can still copy an NPC or conversation and then edit your version of the NPC or conversation. Okay, so that is everything. And in the other video, I will talk about how to create NPC and conversation. Thank you so much.